Chris, I'm heading out. Mike, is the number 2 bus really leaving now? Hey man, take care. Write me when you get stationed. Dude, how am I supposed to write you when I don't know which unit you're going to? Oh right, I know you're going to the 12th Division, but there are dozens of units in a division. How should I know which one? I haven't been assigned to a specific unit yet, so I'll call you when I get leave. Here's my home phone number. All right, see you on our 100-day break. After saying goodbye to the battle buddy I trained next to, I waved at the others and boarded the bus that would take me to my new unit. I spent a long time on that bus. It wasn't until sunset that we finally arrived. I'm the last one. Everyone else already got off? Just me, huh? I don't know if I can do this alone. Can I really manage this without a single buddy by my side? I mumbled to myself. Private Kildu, what are you mumbling about? We're here. Get off. I got off the bus, my heart heavy. Just be diligent like you were in boot camp. If you keep that up, the unit won't hate you. Good luck. Yes, sir. The place was surrounded by mountains on all sides, and the buildings were dark and looked intimidating. I dragged my feet, clearly reluctant to go in. The sergeant escorting me got frustrated and yelled, "Did they train you like crap in basic? Can't you keep up?" "No, sir. I'll move faster." Inside the building, I saw older soldiers finishing up their routines. Some were playing ping pong, others lifting weights. I was guided into the barracks where I would stay and sat on the floor. A group of older soldiers stared at me like I was an animal at the zoo. "Hey, fresh meat's here. Yo, newbie. Private Chris Kildu, you got a girlfriend?" "No, sir." "Get down." "What? You don't have a girlfriend, right? Then get down and give me push-ups." This must be what it's like to arrive at a new unit. I dropped down and started doing push-ups for the crime of not having a girlfriend. "Get up, Private Kildu. You know any girls at all?" "No, sir. I worked construction before this, didn't get to go to school, never even had a chance to meet a girl." "Get down again. You know love can bloom even during wartime. That's America for you." After another short round of push-ups, I got back up and faced the next question. "Hey, newbie, where are your parents?" "I don't have any, sir." "What? You don't have parents?" "No, sir. They divorced when I was 15 and both left." "You mean you've been on your own since then?" "Yes, sir." The sergeant sighed and said, "Guys, lay off the rookie. Chris Kildu, take it easy." Maybe they felt pity. After that, they stopped questioning me and no longer looked at me like I was some zoo animal. I had enlisted as an infantryman, but I didn't yet know what my specific role would be. About an hour after arriving and sitting in the barracks, I heard someone call for cleaning time. I immediately got up, swept the floor, wiped down the surfaces, and kept moving, watching what others did. After cleaning, I unpacked and changed into fatigues. Not long after that, a staff sergeant known as the company operations officer, kind of like the mom of the unit, came into the barracks. "You the new guy? What's your major?" "I didn't go to college, sir. Came from construction. I can hammer, run a grinder, carry heavy loads, no problem. I've carried 80 pounds up 20 floors like it was nothing." "Huh, you've had it rough, huh? All right then, you'll be our cook." "Cook, sir?" "Yeah. One of our kitchen guys is finishing his tour next month. We'll need a replacement. You said you're good with a shovel, right?" "Yes, sir." "Well, here we cook meals and prep side dishes using shovels. You're good at shoveling, so you're perfect for the job. Congratulations, you're our new cook." I didn't know whether it was a joke or not, but I responded with a quick, "Understood, sir." That night, after the final roll call, I wrapped up my chaotic first day. The next morning at 6 a.m., I got up to the sound of the morning trumpet, did formation check, and then physical training. As I was cooling down, someone strode toward me. "You the new cook?" "Yes, sir." "Follow me." And that's how I got dragged to the kitchen and realized, yup, I was really a cook now. It finally started to feel real. The senior cook tossed me a knife and told me to chop up a pile of vegetables. I had no idea what I was doing, but I gave it my best shot and started cutting. Surprisingly, praise came flying in. "Hey, rookie, not bad. Did you work in a kitchen before?" "No, sir. This is my first time using a knife like this." "For real?" "Well, when you're done chopping, grab the mixing spoon and toss the side dishes together. Stay sharp, got it?" "Yes, sir." That's how my life as a cook began. And shockingly, it fit me like a glove. People always say the army kitchen is grueling, and sure, the volume of food is overwhelming. But for me, it wasn't hard. It was fun. The job gave my day rhythm. Preparing 3 meals a day for a whole unit was definitely a lot of work, but somehow I found myself thriving. I was becoming a real soldier, one with calloused hands and a newfound sense of pride. Then one day, just a couple weeks before my 100-day leave, I was working in the kitchen as usual when I suddenly got summoned by my company commander. I quickly changed into my dress uniform and went to his office. "Private Kildu reporting, sir." "Hey, Chris, what the hell did you do?" "Sir, I haven't done anything. I've been working in the kitchen every day." "Then why the hell is the battalion commander looking for you? Let's go together." I followed him in confusion. We entered the battalion commander's office and found him waiting. "You're Kildu?" "Yes, sir, Private Chris Kildu reporting." "You didn't get into any trouble?" "No, sir, just working hard in the kitchen." "You got any family in the military?" "No, sir, no family at all." "Well then, the division commander is looking for you. He's flying in by helicopter, I'm not kidding." "By helicopter? For me?" "Yeah. To meet one private, he's taking a chopper and coming all the way here. I've got no idea why." "Do you know him personally?" "No, sir. I've never met the man." "All right, let's head to the helipad. He's about to land." Stunned, I followed him across the base. I'd never seen a real helicopter before, and now I was about to meet a general who wanted to see me personally. The wind from the rotors was intense. I couldn't even open my eyes properly. As the helicopter touched down, I stood there frozen. The moment the division commander stepped off, we saluted sharply. "You're Chris?" "Yes, sir." "Good. Battalion commander, you can go. Chris, come with me to the visitation hall." "Visit? But sir, I don't have anyone visiting me." "Are you saying I'm lying, soldier?" "No, sir. I misspoke. I'm sorry." "You think sorry fixes everything? Move it." "Yes, sir." Everything that day felt like getting struck by lightning. First the company commander, then the battalion, and now this. Now I was walking alongside the division commander to the visitation room. It was surreal, like a dream I couldn't wake from. When we arrived, I was absolutely stunned. Standing in front of me were people I never imagined I'd see again. "Private Kildu, the visitor here today is someone both of us know well. Say hello." "Yes, sir." And as I looked at their faces, a tidal wave of memories came crashing down from the depths of my heart. Why were they here? How did they connect with the general? And why was I so shocked to see them? Let me tell you that story now, about how that visit changed me, and why it made me revisit years of my life in a single moment. When I was in 8th grade, my parents got divorced. Honestly, they had been fighting constantly, and our house was filled with yelling all the time. So when they finally split up, I actually felt relieved. Finally, I thought, peace and quiet. But divorce didn't just mean the end of their marriage. It meant they both walked out and left me alone. Literally, I was left in a tiny rented room by myself. A few months later, my mom quietly remarried and started a new life with a new family. My dad disappeared, saying he was going to find work, but he never contacted me again. No letters, no calls, nothing. At the time, I was still a student, but I didn't have time to dwell on it. I had to survive. The first thing I did was move out of that tiny apartment and take the deposit to find a cheaper place. a rundown room in a shared boarding house. It wasn't ideal, but it would help me last about a year. I needed money to keep going to school, so I started working part-time. Back then, most gas stations still needed attendants, and they hired fast. I worked from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. after school hours and got paid around $1.10 per hour. I worked weekdays and full 12-hour shifts on weekends. I saved everything in a metal coin bank I kept hidden in my room. After more than a year of saving like that, I had almost $5,000, enough to start high school without worrying about tuition or uniforms. But right before high school started during winter break, someone showed up outside my boarding house. A face I hadn't seen in years. "Chris, long time no see." "Dad, where the hell have you been?" My father stood there saying he needed money to join a fishing crew that traveled overseas. "You're here to say goodbye?" "Yeah, and to borrow a little money." "I don't have any. Please just leave." "Well, too late. I already took it. Caught red-handed, huh?" I ran inside in a panic. My room was trashed. My coin bank was gone. I chased after him, shouting for him to stop. "Give it back! That's my future!" But he ran, and I couldn't catch him. I collapsed in the street and cried until I couldn't breathe. Looking back, even when my parents were still together, my dad used to sneak money from the house, vanish for a few days, and come back like nothing happened. I never thought he'd do something like that to me too, but he did. That day, I lost everything. The money I had saved for high school, my plans, and maybe even the last bit of hope I had in my dad. After that, I gave up on school. I had no choice. I blended into the adult world, surviving one day at a time. I started working even longer hours at the gas station, 12 hours every single day. And when my shift ended, I'd deliver newspapers and milk in the early morning hours. It was grueling, quiet work that made other people's mornings happen. But I didn't mind. I kept at it, rain or shine. I worked until my hands cracked and my body gave out. Eventually, I adjusted to the rhythm. Even when my nose bled from the exhaustion, I kept going. Because deep down, I had a dream. One day, I would go to college. I'd get a good job. I'd live a normal life, a peaceful, boring, everyday kind of life that felt so far away back then. In those stolen moments between shifts, I started studying for the GED. I wanted to finish what I never had the chance to. I carved time out of a life filled with labor just to chase that dream. Then, one icy winter morning, I was out doing my milk and newspaper runs. The air hurt my hands and every breath turned to ice. As I walked the dark, frozen streets, the front door of a small apartment opened. Usually people just nod or say a quick hello, but this time was different. "Chris, is that you?" I turned to see a boy my age. "It's me, David Kim. We went to middle school together." "Sorry, I don't remember you." "It's okay. We were never in the same class, but I knew who you were." He smiled warmly. "Anyway, good to see you, man." "Yeah, same." "You're out delivering, huh? Want help?" "You want to help me? Why?" "Just for the exercise. I run early in the mornings anyway." I was caught off guard. I tried to politely turn him down, but he grabbed his sneakers and started following me. "Come on, let's breathe in the morning air together. I do this a lot." "I'm not exercising. I'm working. I'm making money." "I get that, but let me tag along anyway." A few days passed, and I arrived at the milk distribution center early as usual. To my surprise, David was already there. "Hey, I got a job here too. Not in your delivery area, but yeah, I start today." "Why are you doing this?" "I live with my dad, but he's away most of the week. I get allowance, but I wanted to earn something myself. Honestly, I always admired you, Chris, even back in school." "Admired me?" "Yeah. You stood up to bullies. You were strong, independent, and you were cool. I respected that." I didn't know how to respond. It was strange hearing that I was admired, not pitied. "Well, I'm heading out. "See you after the route?" he asked. "Sure. See you later." That became our routine. Every morning, we'd each head to our own delivery zones, and afterward we'd meet in front of my boarding house. We'd sit together on the narrow sidewalk, sharing warm drinks or snacks, talking quietly. In that quiet hour before the rest of the world woke up, I felt something new, that I wasn't completely alone. David continued delivering milk for about a year. Then, when he became a senior in high school, he quit to focus on college entrance exams. I also moved on from the delivery job. I was turning 18, and better-paying labor jobs became available, so I started working construction. I had no licenses, no skills, just a strong back and willing arms. So I went from site to site, hauling, lifting, shoveling, sweating through each day. I pushed myself harder than anyone else, and my pay slowly increased. I didn't spend a dime unless I had to. I saved and saved. By the time I was 23, I had a hefty amount in the bank and a strong sense of self-worth. I didn't owe anyone anything. Meanwhile, David didn't get into Harvard, but he made it into one of the country's top universities. Even in his busy college life, he never forgot about me. He'd still visit my boarding house, snacks in hand, just like old times. Watching him made me think maybe I could go to college too. So I quit my construction job and started studying for the SAT. Just as I bought the books and began studying, I got a letter, a draft notice. I was supposed to be exempt due to poverty. My father had officially abandoned me, and I was on my own. But the income from my construction work disqualified me. I didn't know. I had no idea, and now it was too late. There was no choice. I had to go. 1 month before my enlistment, I quit all my jobs and took my first long break in years. But resting felt strange. I still woke up early, and my hands instinctively reached for tools. That's how deeply the routine had sunk in. A few days later, David showed up outside my boarding house just like he used to. He sat beside me quietly before speaking. "Chris, you're really going into the military?" "Yeah. Thought I was exempt, but turns out I wasn't, because of the money I earned." "Damn, I didn't know. That's rough." "You got exempt, right? Because of your surgery?" "Yeah. That ACL tear from playing soccer back in middle school? I got a full exemption." "Well, lucky you." "I'm sorry, man. I wish it were different." "Nah, it's not your fault. I just thought I was finally going to move forward. Guess life had other plans." He patted my shoulder, and we just sat there in silence. For 3 weeks, I focused on working out and preparing mentally for enlistment. I had money saved up, and I figured once I got through the army, my life would really start, like a car finally hitting the highway. A week before I shipped out, I wanted to see David again. I texted and called him, but got no response. That wasn't like him. Worried, I did what he used to do. I showed up at his house unannounced. I waited outside on the quiet street, hoping to catch him. Around 3 p.m., I saw him coming down the hill, shoulders slumped, moving slowly. "David! Hey man, what's up with that face? You look like you're carrying the weight of the world." "Chris, you're here?" "Yeah. I've been calling you, man. You all right?" "I've just been dealing with a lot." He hesitated before continuing. "My dad's sick, stomach cancer, advanced. I've been running between school and the hospital. It's been tough." I stood there speechless. The word cancer hit me like a punch to the gut. "Damn, I'm so sorry. Is he gonna be okay?" "I don't know. He's in chemo, but it's brutal. The hospital just called, actually. They're demanding payment." I followed his eyes as they dropped toward the ground. "How much?" "About $5,000 for the treatments and upcoming surgery." He tried to smile, but it didn't reach his eyes. "We'll figure it out somehow." After we parted ways, I couldn't stop thinking about it. $5,000. I had more than that in the bank. I could help. I wanted to help. And for once in my life, I actually could. David had been there when I had nothing. He never pitied me, never looked down on me. He treated me like a human being when I wasn't sure I even was one. When I got back to my boarding house, someone was waiting. A face I never wanted to see again. "Dad? Hey, son, long time no see. You doing all right? What are you doing here?" "Came to see how you were. Heard you've been working hard, making money. I checked your bank account. Looks like you've got a decent amount saved." That set off every alarm in my body. "Wait, how do you know my bank balance?" "I got your stamp, remember? And the account number. Just need you to sign this authorization form." "You've got to be kidding me." "Come on, I'm your dad. I just need to borrow it for a while." "Number, that money's mine. I worked for it. You're not getting a cent." I blocked his way with my arms spread wide. "Move aside, kid. Not happening. You little—" His fist flew toward my face, and everything went white. When I opened my eyes again, my vision was blurry and my head was spinning. My father was already walking away, quickly disappearing down the street. "Why is my life always like this?" I shouted into the empty air. "My dad's a thief who steals from his own son, and my mom disappeared after remarrying without even a goodbye. I never got to go to school. I worked like a dog to survive, and now I can't even keep the money I bled for." I screamed at the top of my lungs. "If this is life, then what's the point? Take the money, but just know this. I'll haunt you. I'll become a damn ghost and follow you for the rest of your miserable life." My voice echoed through the neighborhood. I collapsed on the pavement, sobbing uncontrollably, and then, just when I thought I'd broken entirely, my father returned. I braced myself for another blow. "What now? Come to finish the job?" But instead, he stopped a few steps away and said softly, "You eat today." Then, slowly, he handed me the bank book and stamp. "What is this? What are you doing?" "I couldn't walk away after hearing what you said. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. Your mom, your life, me, take it. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I still want to try to be your dad." I took the bank book without saying a word. "Let me buy you lunch," he said. "Come on, one meal." Before I could think clearly, I found myself following him to a cheap little diner. We sat down at a small table and ordered soup. It was awkward. We didn't say much. For the first time in my life, I saw my father as something small, something breakable. He slouched in front of me, poking at his food. "You're really going into the military?" "Yeah, I got my papers. I leave next week." "I was exempt, flat feet. But you're going to serve. That's something. Are you proud of that? Or are you just mocking me?" "Neither. I'm just talking. Chris, I know I was a terrible father. Hate me if you need to. You've earned it. But someday, I want to make it right." I stared at my bowl of soup. Slowly, I lifted it and drank it to the bottom. Then I stood up and walked out without a word. The night before my enlistment, I packed my things quietly in my tiny room. One old duffel bag, a few essentials. That little room had been my whole world for so long. The newspaper roots, the smell of early morning, the memory of David smiling with a cup of milk in hand. I zipped the bag shut and walked out. But I didn't head straight to the station. Instead, I went to the hospital where David's father was being treated. My steps felt calm. No anger, no bitterness, just clarity. "Excuse me," I said to the receptionist. "I'd like to pay for a patient's treatment. The name is Mr. Joseph Kim. His son is David. He's my friend." "And you're the family member?" "No, ma'am, just a friend. But I'd like to cover the balance." "We can accept that. Will you be paying cash?" "Yes." I lifted the apple box I had brought and placed it on the counter. The clerk looked surprised. Maybe she thought I was joking. but when she opened the lid and saw the stacks of bills, her face froze. "I'll take this to the back and process it," she said. It took a while. When she came back, she handed me a receipt. "All treatment costs, including surgery, have been paid in full. The remaining balance is $48. "Thank you. So nothing else is due?" "No, sir. Everything is cleared." I nodded and turned to leave. I thought about going up to the room, about seeing David or his dad, but I was afraid I might cry, that they'd know, that it would feel too real. So I walked out quietly, like I'd never been there. From there, I went straight to the train station. I bought a ticket, boarded, and sat by the window. The train pulled away slowly, and I stared out as the city faded behind me. That night, I arrived at the army lodging and collapsed into bed. For the first time in years, I fell asleep without stress, without fear, just peace. I didn't regret it. That $5,000 was the best money I ever spent. Now, let's return to the moment when I was called to see the division commander and told I had a visitor. The person waiting for me at the visitation room was none other than my father. "Dad? What are you doing here?" "Yes, son, it's me. I came to see you." "But how do you know the division commander?" "I don't. That's not how I got here." Then he called for two people standing behind him. It was David and David's father. The division commander stepped forward and greeted them warmly, giving David's father a big hug. "It's been a long time, old friend, so you're doing okay now?" "Thanks to someone's help, yeah. I was going to ask you for a loan, but it turns out he already paid the bill." "You mean Chris here?" "Exactly. When I found out your division was where he was stationed, I contacted you right away. David must have sent a letter to me after I joined, so he had the address. That's how they got in touch." The division commander looked at me with pride. David turned to me and said, "Hey man, ready for another hug?" And without warning, he wrapped me in the tightest bear hug I'd ever felt. I could barely breathe. "David, come on, man. I can't breathe." After pulling a stunt like that and not even saying goodbye before enlistment, you deserve it. You left without a word. I wrote you a letter. Yeah. But still, you're in the army now. How's that cook duty going? You think it's easy? Let me tell you something. Don't ever say kitchen work is easy again. I wake up at 4 a.m. to start prepping breakfast. While everyone else is resting, we're cleaning, organizing inventory, and prepping for the next day. You think that's a cushy job? You're full-on military now, huh? Damn right I am. Don't mess with army cooks. We both laughed. A moment later, David's father spoke. "Chris, thank you. Because of you, I got the treatment I needed. I'm healthy again. I really can't thank you enough." "I'm glad you're okay, sir. It's good to see you well. Still," he added, "who pays a full hospital bill for someone else?" My son picked the best kind of friend. I was embarrassed but grateful. The division commander chimed in next. "Chris, you make me proud to have you in my unit, but you shouldn't have to spend your life savings like that. I'll deposit that money back into your account." "What? Sir, that's not necessary." "Too late. You stepped up before anyone else could. I was planning to help him myself, but you beat me to it. Give me your account number later." "Yes, sir." "Anyway," he said, "this is a celebration. Order anything you want. Today, you're the guest of honor." "Thanks, sir. Then, can I get chicken pizza, snacks, ice cream? Oh, and I've never even been to the PX. Let me raid that place." "Order everything you want. Today's on me." "Actually, Dad," I said, turning to my father, "you pay for the food today. Use your money. You said you've changed, right?" He smiled. "Yeah, I've changed. Whatever you want, it's on me." We ate like kings, laughing, joking, and eating non-stop. Afterward, David gave me another suffocating hug. Chris, thank you. I'll always admire and respect you. Enough with the drama, man. Just do me a favor. Introduce me to a girl after I get discharged. You sure you'll want to leave? You look like you're made for the army. Oh, shut up. You're the one who jinxed me with that make it a career talk. Yeah, well, guess my words carry power. David's father walked over and gave me a pat on the back. You're always welcome at our house, anytime. Then I turned to my dad. How'd you end up here today? I looked for David after you left. I didn't ask him for money, don't worry. We had lunch. He told me what you did. And honestly, I felt ashamed. Ashamed of who I've been. I've decided to change. He handed me a bank book. The $5,000 I tried to steal from you? I worked my ass off and saved it back. It's all in here. It's yours. Seriously? Take it now before I change my mind. Okay, hand it over before you regret it. He laughed. Your old man's not so useless anymore. Then use that money today. Buy all the food. I'm going on a PX shopping spree. Go for it, son. I'm proud of you. And just like that, we sat around the table. Me, David, his dad, my dad, and the division commander, eating until we couldn't move, sharing stories, and laughing like family. After the visit, David wrapped me in one last hug, so tight I thought my spine would snap. I patted his back and said, all right, enough already. Chris, I'm serious. I'll always look up to you, always be proud to call you my friend. Okay. But how about you stop acting like my girlfriend and start setting me up with someone instead? Are you saying you want to date after the army? What else am I gonna do? And don't joke about me staying in. You said it once and now look, I'm actually considering it. We both laughed and said our goodbyes. I headed back to the base. That evening, the division commander deposited the full $5,000 into my account. And just like that, I had both his deposit and the $3,000 my father had saved up, enough to make anyone feel rich. When I went on my 100-day leave, I visited David and his dad. I also met up with my own father. Everyone welcomed me with open arms. We shared meals, talked about life, and for the first time, it felt like everything was okay. A few months later, I was promoted to private first class, and around that time, I started seriously thinking about becoming a career soldier. David had said it as a joke, just stay in the army, man. But the thought stuck with me. The truth was, military life suited me. I liked the order, the discipline, the sense of purpose. After a lot of thought, I applied for the NCO program, got accepted, and trained to become a sergeant. Eventually, I was promoted to staff sergeant and then to supply sergeant, overseeing the kitchen and logistics for the unit. Time moved on. Now I'm 42 years old, living in a military apartment with my wife and daughter. Once a month, we visit David and his family. Hey, David, your son's 17 now, right? Yeah. He's about the same age we were when we delivered newspapers and milk together. Kid's looking sharp. You know, he and my daughter would make a great match one day. Dude, don't even joke like that. My daughter's not going anywhere. I'm keeping her forever. Yeah, right. You think she wants to spend her life with you? I'm just saying, if our kids got married, we'd be family. Imagine that. Can you believe this guy? You said it yourself, my words tend to come true. I smiled. How's your dad, by the way? Still working, even though we tell him not to. Yours too. He's been showing up to visit sometimes. Told me he's thinking of getting remarried. No way. Is he serious? Yeah, he brought a woman to meet us last time. Said he wants a fresh start. Well, good for him. If he's finally being responsible, I support it. Yeah, he deserves some happiness too. David raised his glass. To second chances, huh? Yeah, I said. and to good friends. It's funny how life works. I spent my teenage years cut off from the world, barely surviving, buried under responsibilities I never asked for. And then one person reached out. David didn't save me with money or opportunities or even advice. He saved me by seeing me, by treating me with dignity when no one else did. When I paid that hospital bill and left quietly for the army, I never expected it would lead to the division commander calling me out by name, or to a surprise reunion that would redefine my past. I never expected it would force my father to face himself, or show me what forgiveness could look like. I never expected any of it. But that's the thing about life. It breaks you, yes. But underneath the rubble, there's always someone holding out a hand, someone whose kindness becomes the reason you keep going. This is where I'll end my story. I made it through those long, dark years. I survived, and I grew. The world can fall apart around you, but even then, even at your lowest, a single honest heart can catch you. And I'm going to keep living with all my strength and with all my joy. Respectfully, Chris Kildew, U.S. Army. Over and out.